Hello, hello, hello. Karen Creighton here. Today I thought I would take you through a little bit of something that's a little bit different for me. So just as a little bit of background, I've been fortunate enough to be using machines, frequency machines, biofeedback, scalar, all of that sort of thing over the last, oh my gosh, it's 33 years. So I started in 1990. And I just thought I'd share with you the latest technology that I've been lucky enough to be using for the last 3.5 years. And I wanted to share it to you because it's gaining traction now, because it is so good. And literally, you can have this technology on your phone or on your tablet. So I'm just going to take you through a little bit of, actually it's a client, and I'm just going to show bits and pieces because I can't show the whole lot because otherwise it's client confidentiality. So I'm just going to share my screen with you, and this is what the first part of it looks like. And so just bear with me and I will share the screen. And so this is what we call the Genius, and it really is genius. As you can see, it's got client records and things, and so basically it's got my name on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to access my client, and I don't want to share the screen when I'm accessing my client, so I'm going to stop share, and then I'm going to do what I normally do is I find my client, and he, oops, it's a regular that I do this once a week. And so then I will bring up the client, the share screen again, and so you can see it. So I'm going to be putting through a voice recording that he has sent me. And so I click on this little button. You will be able to see it, right? Okay, so I click on this little button because he sent me his details through an app, but you don't have to do this. So when you're doing yourself, you just hit on that button. And so I'm just going to put his details in, and as you can see, it does it for 15 seconds. And so the voice is a really important component of this. So if we look at our voice tells us a lot. So you can always tell if someone's a bit sick because their voice basically is always just a little bit off. Even though they say, oh, I'm fine, and with a big smile on their face, you can normally tell. And so what we do is now is we just hit on this little button, which is called voice harmonics. And what that does is it actually anchors in the frequencies of the voice into the app. And the great thing about this is you don't have to be online. You have to be online to download it. But when you're doing the actual program and everything else, you don't have to be online. And so that's the beauty of it. And so then I'm going to go into his photo. So I'm going to take this off again, because otherwise it's actually not fair, is it? So I'm just going to load his photograph on. And what we do then is it analyzes the photo. So the part of the analysis is 89% is via voice. The other 11% is from your name, your date of birth, and also your photo. And so the photo is a snapshot in time. And this test, if you like to call it that way, is a snapshot in time. So what does this tell us? It tells us a lot, actually. And so what we can find out is where people's energy is at. So what we're looking for is balance. And on the actual Genius app, it actually shows us where we're high and where we're low. And we don't really want to be either. So we want to be in balance. And so I'm just going to bring this up again. Sorry for being so stop start, but it's important, I think, that we do honor someone's privacy. So if you look at here, it's got an energetic affirmation. So what we can do is we can actually put an affirmation. So like something, I love, stop it. Oh, it won't do it. So anyway, you can put I love my life, or I'm happy and healthy. So something really positive, because words have frequency. And so if we put the words through, the words actually really can enhance your experience with it. And so, okay, what we're going to do here is just going to hit that red button, the bottom, begin analysis. So it only takes a few seconds with this bit. So if you decided to give this a try, what you will have is you'll have mind, body, and biofield. And I'll go through that quickly. And then if I've got custom libraries that I've added into my program, and that's another video in itself, it's huge. But this is just basically the basic model. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the emotional side, but the great thing is it goes even deeper. So if we look at emotional, you hit that button and it takes you through all of the emotions. And so you can treat your client, you can treat yourself, you can treat your house, you can treat your animals, you can treat almost anything with various frequencies. So all of these frequencies are locked in. So say, for example, my client comes up with depression here. If we want to dive deeper, so I'm going to just hit it again, and it takes us through to what's called entangled insights. You don't have to do this, by the way, but it takes you through to entangled insights. I just wanted to show you the potentiality of this. So entangled insights. So basically depression, what you could do is then you can search. So you can go into, say, for example, parasites. So it's got homeopathics, it's got parasites, it's got pain, it's got all sorts. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to hit parasites and see if parasites are part and parcel of this person's emotional state. And so you can really dive into it. And I'm not going to dive too much into this because, well, you're going to probably get bored. And so what I'm looking for is 100% root cause. So as you can see, there's a couple of parasites there. So what I do is I drag those two into what's called the main hold tray. And the main hold tray is basically so that we can fine tune it. And I'm going to go through this very quickly. I'm not going to do that with anything else. I'm going to put the depression in there and a few of the other imbalances. So you always look at the top and the lower. So anything from 777 down to 600 could be something worth looking at. And then below, you've got anything from 0 up to 200. So I'm just going to put a couple of those in. And then basically batch flower essences, I'm sure you've heard of those. Batch flowers are emotional essences. And so you just put a couple of those in, or as many as you feel like. Down the main hold tray, I have had over 300 different items in there. And so it's a really, really, you can really go deep into this. And when we're looking at emotional, we have to look at the neurotransmitters. And also we've got the EEG, and I'm putting the highs and the lows. I hope this makes sense. I do a lot more in-depth videos if you wanted to have a look, but this is just as an example of what we can do. So, and you can also go into, you can create your own way of doing it, but this is just a very brief going through. Minerals, looks like his minerals are a bit low. Obviously not having enough salt. Nor is he eating enough meat, I would suggest, knowing him as I do. And then we go into electrical sensitivities. There are things you can do on here which can actually help with electrical sensitivities. And I do know this particular client is very, very sensitive to electromagnetic field stress. And then with the spinal energy, you basically pick the lows and the highs. So the blues and the reds generally. And you pop those down the bottom in the main hold tray, just drag them. And it's very simple. And if you had, for example, if you had a bad back, you could just literally go into this and treat yourself. And as I say, I've got other videos, which I just wanted to take you through a general test that I take my clients through. So he's got something going on, that's for sure. Right, so I'm not going to do too much more on there. I'm going to go into the biofield. So the node GAs are certain frequencies for certain parts of the body. It goes from A, which is the skin, and it goes all the way through, and basically to the it's the whole of our being. And the frequencies are very important and also they're very interesting. So if you wanted to know more about those, let me know, and I can send you the blurb about node GAs. I've got lots of blurb written down. Sorry for the top of my head. So I'm just putting in some sacred geometry. Meridians are useful. So you can dive deeper into meridians. You just say, for example, this one is a liver meridian. And so with the liver meridian, you just hit on there, and basically we can see which points are likely to be affected. And so you can either choose to put those particular points into the main hold tray, or you can just pop liver meridian in. And so you can check. And that's the great thing is, so you might have pain somewhere, and then you can have a look through the meridians and go, oh, that's where that pain is. And you can treat that liver meridian. So it's a bit like acupuncture in your pocket. And so you basically drag those all down if you want to. There we go. And then we do the spiritual protection as well. So negative energies, dark field cleared. And these are remedies. So they're actually, and what we'll find out is what the priorities are in a minute. Solfeggios are really effective. You've probably seen a lot of information on solfeggios. Now, solfeggios, the most for electromagnetic fields, which he's going to need, is 741. It says awakening intuition, but it does so much more than that. Okay, so down the bottom here, we have 96 items in the main hold tray. And normally I would go into my my libraries, and then I can really fine tune, because I've got lots and lots of different remedies and various things like angels and colors and everything else. But I'm going to keep it really simple so you can get a bit of a glimpse into the world of genius. And so what you do then is you hit on this little button here, and it takes you to progressive insights. And what that means is it's best just taking things even deeper. So we just hit the progressive begin analysis. And what this does is shows us priorities. And so basically we've got a hormonal issue going on here. We've got surround and protect. So basically, probably I would suggest having a psychic attack. Point is sacred geometry, no GAG, iodine, and everything else. So what you do is you just hit the high, and that will tick those. And so they're the ones that my client is going to get a treatment on. And then basically I go through and intuitively pick up what else I think he needs. And so we just go through these, and basically, what's the fun about this is you can really, really make a big difference. So normally with my clients, I'll put them on a treatment for half an hour or more. So I know that if you look here, we've got a timer, and it only goes up to 30 minutes. However, if you take it back to 0, it'll play for an hour or more. But I'm just going to do a very short zap for the moment. And so okay, I'm just going to do 1 minute, and we'll see how much that it actually helps his frequency. Now, you may have noticed that my client isn't here. And so my client isn't here. What happens is once I've found out the main priorities, is I can send the frequencies via his QuantaCap. And his QuantaCap, he'll receive that, and he can play the frequencies that I send him for often as he like for a week. And so what we do is every week he sends me his voice recording and his photo, and I send him treatment for each week. And that's just one way of using this amazing, amazing tool. And so I just wanted to share this with you today, because not many people know that I actually do this, because I'm probably quite well known on this media for weight drop and hormonal balancing and detoxification. But I use this tool and have been known for this tool for quite some time. So after just 1 minute of using the frequencies, you'll see, excellent, your client has responded wonderfully. But if we look down here in the small print, I don't know if you can actually see it, harmony has gone up by 75%, alignment is 60%, energy flow is 57%, and average percentage rectification is 64%. And that is after just 1 minute. So you may well ask, how can an app send frequencies from where I am to where my client is, and he's in another part of the country? Is how can he be getting that? Well, it goes through the quantum fields, but also he'll have it in his app. So I've actually sent him treatment now. And so I know now that what we've got in here is really important. I will be taking some out, because 80 items is quite a lot to be treating all the time. So I'll just pick and choose which ones I feel that he needs. And he can then play all day if he chooses to have the app going. And also on his app, on the Quantic app, he has solfeggios. So the solfeggios are built in. And so he can play those treatments to his heart's content. Mabel's come to visit. And I just thought I would share a little bit about the genius. Now, if you would like to know more, I am going to be doing more videos. I'm also going to be doing some live videos onto our Facebook page. And I'm going to be asking at times if anyone would like to volunteer to have a treatment. And I'll bring you on here. Of course, we won't show any details like we didn't with my client, but then we can have an interaction. And I hope you enjoy this. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop it in downstairs, down below downstairs. So have a magical, magical time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.